90 over to Mulholland. Getting into Boyle Heights, southbound 75 at 4th. Still got the off-ramp stuff out of the track. You're going to see it back up there coming away from the 110. And things are slowing down if you're heading along the 605 south from Whittier Boulevard over to the 5. Kfi in the sky helps get you there faster. Time goes.
This report is sponsored by the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Has COVID-19 made it hard to pay your rent or utilities? Are you worried about eviction? Eligible renters can now get 100% of their rent and utility bills paid. Apply today at housingiskey.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not Mostly homeowners financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash-out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Lennox Financial at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind.
Licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender. Visit us at LennoxHomeLoans.com or call for additional cost information. Other restrictions apply. Rates subject to change.
Hey, Drew, you know what's really spooky during Halloween? What, Dad? Your old mattress. Because after 8 years, an old mattress can collect sweat and dead skin, creating the perfect environment for dust mites.
Yuck. Plus, laying on the same mattress for 8 years creates tremendous wear and tear, making it harder to get the comfort and support you need.
So if your mattress is over 8, it's time to replace during the Sit Big Fall Sale, where you can save $1,000 on select mattresses from Beauty Rest, Kingstown, and Sealy.
Plus, get a $300 gift with purchase with any Tempur-Pedic. And with your good credit, pay 0% financing for 12 months with your minimum monthly payment.
And only Sit and Sleep has BedMatch technology that scientifically recommends the level of support that's right for your shape and size. So this Halloween season, quit sleeping on your scary old mattress.
Trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep during our fall sale for dreams that are sweeter than a pumpkin spice latte.
That sounds good, Drew. How about I buy you one with extra whipped cream?
Thanks.
Do you know what the 3 biggest risks are to your retirement income? They're taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation. Is your portfolio properly diversified to help withstand them? If you don't know, call 833-PLAN-EFE right now. Get your free retirement review from Edelman Financial Engine. Even though you've spent decades saving and making good decisions on your own, you deserve the answers and peace of mind a professional financial advisor can give you. One of our experienced planners will see if your strategy has any gaps and help you protect against these risks eroding your savings and impacting your goals and your lifestyle in retirement. And you'll receive an integrated financial plan, an $800 value created specifically for your circumstances and needs for free. But you need to act now. Call 833-PLAN-EFE by Tuesday at 10 p.m. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Call now. As life returns to normal, our worries have not disappeared, but evolved. Cal Hope offers free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 1-833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
I'm attorney Darren Cavanoki from 1-800-NO-CUPS. Can you do the alphabet backwards? Z-Y-S-W-V. Yeah, try doing that by the side of the road. So if you get pulled over, don't wing it. Call us at 1-800-NO-CUPS.
I woke up, and then I had a mediation.
Wow, what a shocker. I'm involved in litigation.
The first offer is made 25 cents on the dollar.
And she said, would you like to respond?
And I said, yeah, absolutely. I want you to go back to the defendant. Mr. Handel's response is, and then grab your crotch and say, bite me.
Bill Handel, mornings from 6 to 10
They totally said
on KFI.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, good. 1 up on my speaker. 3, 2, 3, baby, blow your mama speaker. Like I'm bigger than a fish, like I'm in love. We should let it on the set. Space in my speaker. 1, 2, 3, good. We can let it be just.
Various challenges. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Raining pretty good here in Burbank. It's going to stay with us for a couple hours. Heard that by, dinner time, probably drive home, whatever it is. things should lighten up quite a bit. It's still going to be messy, though, because people don't know how to do this. Shelter-in-place order has been issued for the Alisol fire burn area near Santa Barbara. It's really the most significant weather-related issue that we're dealing with today. We're going to see some, blocked up drains and things like that, so you're going to have some puddles to get through, but this is nothing compared to what happened up in Northern California. CHP actually had to close part of State Route 70 up in Butte County because of mudslides within the Dixie Fire burn scar that's up there. The Weather Service also said that yesterday was San Francisco's 4th wettest day ever. By far the wettest October day ever, but the 4th wettest day ever, dating all the way back to the gold rush. A rock slide closed down the path, 100-mile-an-hour wind forecast for the Tahoe Basin. And one specific area, they said Mount Tamalpais up in Marin County got 17 inches of rain over the course of just 48 hours. 17 inches of rain. All right, in Swamp Watch, Rolling Stone magazine is out with a new article. Hunter Walker, the reporter, spoke with a couple of people that he says were involved in planning both the president's efforts to overturn the election loss and the January 6th rallies that eventually turned violent. And these two organizers say that they spoke with multiple members of Congress and that they were, in fact, intimately involved in planning all of it. So, this big breathless article says a lot of stuff that we already knew. For example, a couple of the people who are implicated in this, some of the members of Congress are Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona, Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Mo Brooks, Alabama, Madison Cawthorn, North Carolina, Andy Biggs, Arizona, and Louis Gohmert out of Texas. And one of the organizers specifically would say that they would talk with the teams of these members of Congress back to back to back as they got closer and closer to January 6th. Now, Gosar has been one of the most prominent defenders of people who were rallying in D.C. that day. And he is the one who is alleged to have taken things a little bit further. Both of the people that Rolling Stone magazine talked to said that Congressman Gosar dangled the possibility of a blanket pardon in an unrelated ongoing investigation to try to encourage these guys to plan the protest. One of the organizers said our impression was that it was a done deal, that he'd spoken to the president about it in the Oval Office in a meeting about pardons, and that our names come up. They were working on submitting the paperwork and getting members of the House Freedom Caucus to sign on as a show of support. The other ones include Marjorie Taylor Greene out of Georgia, and in fact, her office was apparently in conversations with these two people, at least these two people, if not others. One of the other names that came up was Thomas Van Sleen. That would have been Andy Gosar's chief of staff. Among the people named in the committee's requests to executive branch agencies looking for documents and communications from within the administration. Both of the people who talked to Rolling Stone said Andy Gosar's chief of staff was personally involved in the conversations about the blanket pardon. I mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her communications director said she was involved, but all she was talking about was objecting to the electoral certification on the floor of the House. That she had nothing to do with the outside rallies. She had nothing to do with people storming the Capitol. She was simply going to lodge her vote against certification. And she did. And she did it just like Democrats had done against Donald Trump's election from 4 years previous. So that wasn't the unusual part, but she's saying that she had nothing to do with the outside planning. Here's the interesting thing. These two people who say they have zero qualms about admitting they were there. They were involved in planning the efforts to overturn and planning the rally events from January 6th and the days leading up to that. Both of them said they will testify in front of the House committee that is investigating January 6th. And the quote from one of them, the reason I'm talking to the committee and the reason it's so important is that despite Republicans refusing to participate, This commission is all we got as far as being able to uncover the truth about what happened at the Capitol that day. It's clear, and this is important because this is where the distinction comes down. It's clear that a lot of bad actors set out to cause chaos. They made us all look like X. And Trump, they said, was one of those bad actors. One of the organizers said, quote, "The breaking point for me on January 6th was when Trump starts talking about walking to the Capitol. And the organizer of the rally says, I was like, let's get the F out of here." I do kind of feel abandoned by Trump. I'm actually pretty pissed about it, and I'm pissed at him. Now, both of these guys, again, who talked to Rolling Stone, said they still support Trump's policy. They would probably support Trump if he ran again. But in those events, in terms of planning the rallies that took place on January 6th, that is not enough of an action for condemnation. They could plan all the rallies they want. We saw rallies all over the place, and these rallies happen all the time. The question is, did any of them call for violence that took place? Did any of them call for the storming of the Capitol building? Who was it that called for storming the Capitol building? Why did they do it? And did they plan it out in advance? Or was this just a spur-of-the-moment thing? It would be pretty damning. Listen, I know that I went through the list of members of Congress that are named in this article, but if any of those people were calling for violence at the Capitol while they were inside the building, for God's sake, they're the ones who are going to get in trouble. These planners of these rallies, they may have a lot of information, but like they told Rolling Stone, they also felt betrayed. There were a lot of bad actors that day, and they didn't want anything to do with it. Alex Stone's going to join us in a few minutes. The latest on supply chain issues, getting those holiday shopping plans ironed out now. It's going to be a big issue. Coming up on Gary and Shannon.
Phone, car radio, smart toaster, we don't care how you listen, just that you do.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Deaths on Balboa Island. I'm Amy King, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. 3 people have been found dead in Newport Beach.
Newport Beach Police's Heather Rangel says the bodies were found this morning inside a home on Balboa Island near Diamond Avenue and Bayfront Alley South.
Our officers arrived and found 2 adult females and 1 adult male deceased on scene. An additional adult male was transported to the hospital.
She says investigators are on scene, but she says this is an isolated event and there is no threat to the community. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFID.
News brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite at 1-800-PACIFIC. At least 1 person has been killed and 5 others injured in a car that crashed into a Halloween pop-up store in Van Nuys. It happened just after 8 last night when the driver of an SUV lost control at a high speed. LAPD says he was trying to get away from a street race in the area. A woman who was a customer at the pop-up store died in the crash. The driver was arrested. A storm that's dumping rain on Southern California has flooded highways, knocked over trees, and caused mudslides in some burn areas in Northern California. Heavy rain and strong winds are being driven by what the National Weather Service says is an atmospheric river. Meteorologist Kristen Stewart has told Wake Up Call it's the same storm, but it won't be nearly as powerful here.
It won't be here very long. Once it finally turns the corner down to LA, it's going to go pretty quickly. So by the time the time will be a little bit after it.
Upper areas of San Diego and Ventura County could get up to 2 inches of rain. A storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds and heavy rain is being far in Mexico. The National Hurricane Center in New York says Hurricane Rick could cause flash floods and landslides in the mountain areas along the Mexico coast. Moderna says the low dose of its COVID-19 vaccine is safe for kids 6 to 11 years old. The company says vaccinated kids develop antibodies similar to levels that young adults produce with full-strength tests. A new report by the biggest patient safety organization in the U.S. says cloth masks definitely help stop the spread of COVID-19 in school kids. ECRI says evidence shows cloth masks combined with social distancing and hand washing slow the spread of COVID in school settings. President and CEO Dr. Marcus Schabacher says
The key reason why we're at cloth
They're better for children. It's usually better than the standard medical mask, which has a standard size, and often is way too big for children.
He says the CDC, American Academy of Pediatrics, and the World Health Organization all support kids wearing masks. The military has seized power hours after troops arrested or arrested their officials. Thousands of people flooded into the streets to protest the coup on Monday. At least 3 were killed when security forces opened fire on the crowd. Hertz is adding 100,000 Teslas to its rental car fleet. Hertz's interim CEO says Teslas are already arriving at the company's site and should be available to rent starting next month. The Great Pumpkin may not make an appearance this Halloween.
It's the Great Pumpkin! He's rising up out of the pumpkin patch!
No, Linus, that probably is just Snoopy this year, because we may not see as many pumpkins, and those we do see could cost more. Farmers say drought conditions in the west made the farming season tough. There's also concerns with shipping the supply that's available because of a truck driver shortage that continues. Compared to this time last year, the price for a pumpkin is now 7% higher. Jennifer Jones Lee, KFI News.
Crash in no house going down on the 170.
Stop on Sunday Riverside Drive. Everything got cleared to the center divider, but it's going to be a tough ride coming away from Burbank Boulevard. Meanwhile, if you're heading along the 101, stop on side as you're approaching the 134. Earlier crash there, too, but you'll be still pretty slow from Woodman. As you're heading into the Baldwin Park area, northbound 605 right there at the 10. In fact, it's on the transition to the eastbound 10. Got a crash here in the right lane. Things get back up there coming away from the 60. Southbound 605 also pretty heavy from Whittier Boulevard on over to the 5 freeway. Into West LA, southbound side of the 405 as you're approaching Sunset. Got a crash here taking away the middle lane, so things are going to be pretty slow coming away from just before Mulholland. And then more slowing up ahead from just before the country way out to the 90s. KFI in the sky, hope to get you there faster. I'm Dave.
Mortgage rates, right? Mortgage rates near the lowest we've seen in history. It's impossible not to see all these commercials and hear the commercials where everybody wants you to refi, right? And it can be confusing. Everybody knows that. That's why the team at True Mortgage is telling you, listen, shop around, feel free, ask all the questions, tough questions, and then give True Mortgage a call, 833-66-FAST. Ask them those same questions, point blank. You might be looking to refinance, you want to take advantage of the equity in your home, pay off some of those high interest rate credit cards, loan, whatever. True Mortgage loan consultants will give it to you straight. So if you're paying anything over 2.5% on your mortgage, stop the market and then call True Mortgage last. That's right, call them last. See what others can do for you, and then see if True Mortgage can do it. And that's pretty confident, right? They're putting their money where your mortgage is. Shop around, then give True Mortgage a call, 833-66-FASTER, or log on to TrueNow.com, 833-66-FASTER. Talk to a professional. They'll help you navigate through all of that noise and pick what's right for you. 833-66-FASTER, 833-66-FASTER, or dial pound 250 and use the keyword FASTER.
File no link, DD Mutual Mortgage is a fair housing lender. NMLS 162-2699.
Hi, we're Hope. Meet Dr. Robert Lewis. He's a neurosurgeon at Pakistan Neurosciences Institute who loves camping with his daughter. He is also a nationally recognized expert in minimally invasive brain tumor surgery with Hope. Dr. Lewis loves to get to know you and is ready to make a positive difference in your family's life. Get to know Hope. Visit hopehealth.org and find your physician today. Certified market report brought to you by Variable-vane. The Dow closed this week at 64 points. The Nasdaq added 137. S&P 500 gained 22. The California 455 a down.
Bay Alarm Advanced Video Security proactively protects your property, stopping crime before it starts.
Southland weather from KFI is still expecting some heavy rain through this afternoon. Should end this evening, becoming mostly clear overnight, approaching 40s and 50s. Sunny skies tomorrow with highs in the 60s to mid-70s. Sunny and warmer Wednesday with highs in the upper 60s to mid-70s at the beaches. Upper 70s to mid-80s for inland areas, and even warmer on Thursday before we cool back down into the 60s and 70s as we head into the weekend. It's 61 in Brea, 61 in Forest, 61 here in LA, 59 in Burbank. We are the local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on This will be back after days. Interim data shows the Moderna coronavirus vaccine produces a pretty strong immune response in kids ages 6 to 11. The Moderna data showed the vaccine generated antibodies in children in that age group. They were about 1.5 times as high as what had been seen in adults. Again, this is Moderna's information, so we'll see what the government does with it when they get it. The company that wants to bring the Donald Trump social platform to reality saw huge stock purchases. We saw them go up in 3 times their value just in 1 minute on Friday, and they've had another positive day today as well. And then the race in Virginia for governor, Terry McAuliffe and Republican Glenn Youngkin lost in a tied race. This survey shows, the one that was released today, showed them tied at 48.3%, down to the 0.1% is how specific that tie is. All right, well, we have talked about supply chain issues. We've seen them if you've driven along the coast and you see all of those cargo ships that are out there getting ready to, or waiting to, I suppose, unload all their stuff, and then once we get it onto the port, truck drivers need to come, the trains need to come. It is going to be an issue as we get into holiday shopping. Alex Stone is joining us to talk about what he is going to buy us for Christmas.
Well, as a dad of an 8-year-old, let me tell you, it's impossible to find a Nintendo Switch right now. Oh, good luck with that. Who knew that Nintendo would, after we played Duck Hunt, and it kind of disappeared for a while, and it became Xbox and PlayStation, that Nintendo would do the thing right now. But, yeah, so the industry is saying basically, if there's something that you know you're going to need to buy, or that Santa is going to need to find for your family, that you got to do it now, because it may not get any better than what's out there right now with the toys that are stuck bobbing in the ocean, that maybe they'll get here on time, maybe it'll be April by the time they get into the supply chain and actually get out there, that they may not be available by Christmas. So this may be the best gift that you get. What is out there now? We talked today to the president of the Toy Association. Imagine having that job. You're out having beers, and everybody's having a tough day, and they're like, "Hey, what'd you do? You work for the Toy Association, the head of the Toy Association." I'm super sure. He says, you don't need to freak out. There are going to be things to buy out there, but if you need it, you need to buy now.
Absolutely are going to be toys for Christmas. But what shoppers are going to see is impact on selection, on variety, and those big wait before holiday sales you've all come to expect, they may not be happening this year. So what we're telling consumers, quite frankly, stop early for toys. The toys coming 34 days for Hanukkah, about 60 for Christmas. The time to get out there is now. The best selection, frankly, is now.
But it says already that they're saying on certain items, Star Wars, Marvel, that the availability of product is not as great as they thought that it would be, based on what they knew the companies were making in Asia and what was on its way here that has not been unloaded yet.
We're actually beginning to see some gaps on store shelves. Some of the most popular products that are out there in store supply. The supply chain crisis that we talk so much about really does affect toys. We're a seasonal business. This is the quarter where the most toys are sold. And some of those are still out on the ocean. So if you see something, or you know there's something that your child really wants, the time to buy it is now. It may cost a couple dollars if it does go on sale down the road, but it's better than having nothing under the tree.
So what he's saying, though, is the big sales, the Black Friday sales, the things where they got a lot and they're going to get rid of them, they're not going to have that incentive to need to do that this year. So, yeah, you may lose out down the road if they do end up getting more in, or if it's something that does go on sale, and you go, oh, you spent $10 too much on it, or $20 too much. But by that time, it may be gone, and you may not be able to get it.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those issues where you and I in the media, we have to kind of tamp down people.
Oh, I know. It's like pumpkins and turkeys. I mean, that we're short on turkeys this year, that sort of thing. No, I agree. But we do know that the supply chain is messed up right now, and that the retailers, everybody's reporting that they don't have what they thought that they were necessarily going to have in the quantity of it. So sure, is there a little bit of that you hear it and you go, okay, you're telling me to buy more, and to buy more by option. And but sure, there's arguably a part of that as well. but all facets of the chain, except for maybe some truck drivers who say, oh no, we're working hard, we're getting everything where it needs to go. There's a lot of containers that are piled up and bobbing out in the ocean, and a lot of those, they've got cars and furniture and different things, but there's a lot of toys out there, and not necessarily you need to buy more of it, but if you're going to buy something, you may want to at least make sure you got your hands on it in case it doesn't pop up.
And Nintendo Switch prevails. Bring to mind, I bought a Wii for my kids. This would have been 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was.
Right.
That was a thing. And I paid $800.
Oh.
I broke the bank for that because you could not get them. You could not get them.
That's how Wii is right now. Well, that's the other part that a lot of folks are warning against it. You know, if Wii or a Switch is in that Amazon, you probably don't get it because you have young kids anymore, but Amazon seems to know who does, and you get the holiday catalog, like what they used to get from Toys R Us or from Sears, and Amazon is incredibly smart to do that. You know, why would a tech company do that? That my kids will sit there all night long circling things, putting their initials next to things they want, but they make it look like they've got tons of everything in there. They don't put any prices on it because you go onto Amazon and there's no Switches available except for from third parties that you've never heard of that, you know, have like a 2-star rating, and that's the thing. You don't know what you're going to get. You do have to be a little bit careful of that.
Have you talked to family up north and see how their weekend was?
Yeah, it's very wet.
Yeah.
It's very wet. Yeah, it's they had a lot of rain. Pretty incredible what they got. And then, I mean, today we've had, as you obviously know, several bouts of it, but nothing like what they got up there.
When I saw that San Francisco, downtown San Francisco, got 4 inches of rain. I can't remember that in my lifetime. And I grew up, you know, we grew up in Northern California.
Yeah, but I was saying to my wife today, I said, you know, the rain that we're getting today in Southern California, doesn't it feel like what we got growing up in Northern California, kind of the constant rain that would last like a day, what LA is getting now. Yeah. But yeah, for Northern California to get pounded like that, they need it, we'll take it. You know, unfortunately, they need a little bit more of it, not all at one time. And then you look, I was looking at some live cameras today from Truckee and that area. Yeah. It looks pretty amazing. I think it was on fire like 2 weeks ago. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the fact that this is exactly what they needed to make sure that the fire stay out is good.
Yeah, they're not coming back right now.
As always, we love it. Thank you, Al.
All right, later.
Now it's shown there at the latest. Now we come back, and we're going to get an update on what happened on that movie set with Alec Baldwin, where he shot and killed director of photography and wounded the director. There's so much that goes into what actually happened that day, and why, in fact, it may have simply been a personal error and